Good evening. I'm Anthony Hall, Town Council for the Town of Grange. Here to give you an update on our last Town Council meeting. I feel it's vital and important that we be as transparent as possible, letting the citizens of the Grange know what we're doing. So with that said, let me get the agenda pulled up. Grange Town Council, we met on November 7th. It was a call to order. The opening prayer was given by yours truly, Councilman Anthony Hall. There was no public hearings or board of adjustments. During the public comment period, we had Judge Beth Heath come to speak to us about well, let me just read the letter out so I don't butcher this. Dear council members, this letter is to request that the 8th Judicial District, Greene, Lenoir, and Wayne Counties Accountability and Recovery Court and the Recovery Together ENC Coalition be placed on the donated use list of agencies that can use the LaGrange Community Center at no charge. And so she came and spoke about that, and there was a lot of discussion. And of course, we use the community center a lot in the town, and there's a lot of events that's going on, and there's a lot. So I made a suggestion that instead of using community center, maybe use the town hall, other than our monthly town council meeting and the occasional planning board meeting. Town hall isn't really being utilized. So I just threw that out there as a suggestion. There was no action taken on that, and they'll come back once they have their meeting schedules and everything finalized. So that's what happened with that. Amendments to approval of the agenda. You see, Councilman Larry Gladney made a motion to approve the agenda. It was seconded by Council Member Nikki Lee, and that motion carried. On down to the consent agenda, which was approval of the minutes of October 3rd regular session, October 3rd closed session, October 18th emergency meeting, the October 18th closed session, and approval of the ordinance amending the FY 22-23 budget ordinance, the recreation expenditures, and approval of the proclamation designating November 12th, 2022 as Bishop John E. Reddick Day. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Bishop Reddick on this a great accomplishment, this recognition, because he's someone that has been serving our community for so long, so many years, way before I'm 42 years old, and he's been around for a long, long time. And I just want to, I know he's fighting through some health issues right now, and I'm glad to see that he's out and about again, and he's recovered, and God be the glory. He's such a great man and well respected in our community and well deserving of this recognition. So I wanted to shout out Bishop Reddick and the Mount Calvary Church and everyone that he's touched over 50 years of service. On to new business was a presentation regarding upcoming 2025 Lenoir County reappraisal process. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I forgot. The motion was made by Councilmember Gladney, second by Councilmember Gray to approve the consent agenda. That motion passed. Now back to the new business presentation regarding the upcoming 2020 Lenoir County reappraisal. Officers from the county came and gave us an update on that whole process and what we expect. And so they'll have contractors with yellow vest on in our yards, looking at our properties and giving us feedback. And so hopefully they'll get started with that right away, and we won't know anything officially till 2025. So this is gonna be a long process. They just wanted to reassure us how that process was going to go. Item number B on new business was approval of the purchase of and budget amendment for the SCADA system. And John gave us a brief summary and update on that project. A motion was made by Councilmember Hall, seconded by Councilmember Malice, and the motion carried. Next was approval of a lease and purchase contract to purchase a trencher for the electric department, which with all the growth that we're seeing right now, that's something that's very critical because as our town manager stated, we were renting a trencher and another, but now with such demand, we have to have our own. So motion was made by Councilmember Hall, second by Councilmember Mouse, that we purchase the trencher for the electric department, and that motion carried. On to item D was to consider designation of additional single grave section in the cemetery. Now, this topic got the most attention, the most discussion, most debate that I've seen since I've been on the council this whole year. And I understand it's a very touchy subject for a lot of people. You know, the cemetery is the last thing we can do for a loved one. And I'm not gonna go over all the conversation it had, but I'm just gonna pull this up. And this is a picture of the cemetery. And what was determined was section J, which is right here. Councilmember Reed Rouse, who was very vocal on this made a motion that section J, 1 through 20, go from 4 plots to 2 plots. And I second that motion, and that motion carried. And right, section J is right here where the cursor is, at 1 through 20, right in this area. Then basically we're just running out of single lots. And, you know, a lot of people can't afford to buy family lots. So we had to make a decision this meeting. Those people that wanted to table it to next, but, you know, unfortunately, sometimes on council, we have to address things immediately. And I commend Councilmember Rouse for stepping up, making that decision. And now let's just pass this for the time being. There was an item added to the agenda that is not on the printed out agenda, which is item 8E, which is playground repairs. Town manager John Kraft didn't give us the list of the actual repairs. I requested that, and he said it was sent it to us. Motion was made by Councilmember Rouse, second by Councilman Lee, that we approve the purchase of the playground equipment and repairs. And that motion carried. And now we go down to the unfinished business. As always, Town Manager Kraft gives an update on the water sewer projects. And right now, of course, there's cost overruns and delays. A lot of that stuff is out of our control. It's just, you know, the situation that we're in. Town Manager Kraft did state that he has reached out to Senator Berger, Senator Perry, Senator Representative Humphrey, the legislator, to help us deal with the railroad company. We're having to speak with them. So I just want to, if they watch this, and hopefully they do, I want to thank Senator Perry and Representative Humphrey for all they do for the town of Grange. There are some battles that we, as council members, as town manager, can't fight on our own, and we need help. And this is one of them. And I hope that with their help, we can get this situation resolved and we can get this water sewer project going. down to item B was the battery energy storage system, and town managers informed us that basically everything's a go, everything is operational, and eventually this will be taken off the unfinished business information item list. On an unfinished business, we have item, was it 9C, which is the nature trail. And for anybody who hasn't had a chance to go, I know it's not open really to the public, but people have been back. I've been back. So it's a beautiful, the nature trail is a treasure for the town of Grange. I think everyone, once they get back there, they'll see what I'm talking about. It's such a beautiful environment. It's such a beautiful trail. No, that's not it. Trying to pull this up. There we go. And like I said before, Nature Trail is directly behind the Huntington Park subdivision. And Public Works Director John Marks was gracious enough to walk the trail for us and basically give you a glimpse of what it actually looks like. And I've been back there, and I'll tell you, the most beautiful section of this nature trail is where the creek is. And that'll be right in this area right here. You look at where the cursor is. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. So I just want to commend the other council members for approving this, because tell you, once the word gets out about this nature trail, man, I'm telling you, it's going to have so much traffic. And I just want to say something to citizens of Grange. Let's take care of this. I don't want it to be defiled or messed up or any type of way. You know, we got to protect and preserve nature, and this nature trails is a definitely an added bonus to the town. So we have to do all we can do to make sure we protect and preserve nature. As always, a financial report was given to us in our packet. Anyone who wants to look at it can go onto the town website, pull up the agenda, and that whole financial report is there. Basically, a snapshot of everything that's going on in this quarter. Item number 11 is the council member comments. And as always, I try to make sure I have some prepared remarks when I speak, because I don't want to just rumble and stumble. And here are those remarks. Always thank you, Mayor Wooten, fellow council members, citizens of LaGrange. Good evening. On October 26th, I attended the North Carolina League of Municipalities, the Legislative Policy Committee meeting. The goal of the Legislative Policy Committee is to develop policies to present to the North Carolina legislator. One of those policy ideas on the list for consideration was to provide more authority for municipalities to address land disputes with the railroad. I wanted to let you know that I strongly supported this idea at the committee meeting, and hopefully it will be on the final list presented to the North Carolina League Board of Directors. Also, I wanted to commend the LaGrange Chamber of Commerce for hosting the Harbor Spot Festival. It was a very successful event, and I had a great time. Past weekend, I attended Riley's Fall Brawl State Cook-Off, and the event brought in participants from all around the country. I believe this type of event can lay the foundation for us to have a barbecue festival similar to the Kinston Barbecue Festival. Saturday night, I attended the LaGrange Branch NAACP 33rd Annual Freedom Fund Banquet. I gave the greetings on behalf of the town of LaGrange, and the Honorable Mayor Wooten was there in attendance as well. And on Sunday, I attended the Community Baptist Church Homecoming 50th anniversary. I want to congratulate them on serving our community for 50 years, and I hope they can serve 50 more. Finally, I want to remind everyone about the Veterans Day service that will be held November 11th in the park at 12 p.m. Pause. We actually had to have it in the community center because of the weather. I hope everyone can make time in their busy schedules to show support for our veterans. those were my comments at the council member comment period. And like I said, the veterans event was well attended. The mayor was there, council member Reed Rouse was there, I was there. We represent the town, and Pastor John Wiggins and First Baptist Community, his church was hosted the event, and I want to thank Pastor John Wiggins for doing this supporting our veterans, recognizing them, their contribution, their sacrifice for our town, our state, our country. So thank you for your service. Then we went down to the closed session. Motion was made by Councilmember Lee, second by Councilmember Rouse, and we go into closed session. After this closed session, we had to go back into open session because some of the decisions we made can't be made in closed session. They have to be made in open session. So motion was made by Councilmember Gladney, second by Councilmember Hall, go back into open session. And the topic for debate was an interlocal agreement with the county. So I can make sure I get this all the way up. All right. And basically what this agreement is the town will not be involved with the permitting, plan review, or inspections. We're ceding that responsibility to the county. There's various reasons why we're doing that. Finding an inspector is a hard task for small towns. The cost is tremendous. I personally feel it's worth it. I think we need to have our own, inspector. But I was in the minority, and there's things with this contract. I didn't like the 10-year contract terms, but the council decided to go in that direction, and so now the county will be over permitting, plan review, and inspection. We will still have the planning board, and we'll still have the zoning and town and the ETJ. So we'll have some say over what goes on, of course. But I just feel personally that the Grange, we're an independent town. We don't really rely on county for a lot. We don't really rely on city council for a lot. We've been able to stand on our own too all this time, and I feel like we should be able to continue to stand on our own too. But like I said, I was in the minority on that subject. The motion was made by Councilmember Gladney, seconded by Councilmember Rouse, that we go into this interlocal agreement with Illinois County. And the motion passed 5-1, and as I said, I voted against. Another item that was up for consideration after we ended the closed session was now that we won't be having an inspector, that position will not be filled. Councilman Larry Gladney felt that it was important and vital that we, look back into hiring an assistant manager. And I agree. John has a lot on his plate. There's a lot going on. I mean, I love John. He does a tremendous job. And God forbid something happens to John, we will be in trouble. This whole town will be in trouble because we rely so much on John. And he's done such a great job. And he's so passionate about LaGrange. But we have to consider that as a possibility that something can happen to him. Something can happen to me. Something can happen to any one of us. And we have to be prepared. I made an amendment to Councilmember Gladney's motion that when we advertise for this position, that and not just say assistant manager, but assistant manager slash planner, because I believe we need a planner. We had the position for planner posted, and we haven't found candidates for that. So I said we just combine those two positions together, and most people agreed. It was assistant manager slash planner position. The motion was made by Councilmember Gladney, seconded by Councilmember Hall, and the motion carried 5-1. Councilmember Al Gray voted against, and the meeting was adjourned. So the November 7th meeting was, it was a great meeting. I mean, I enjoy discussion. I enjoy debates. I mean, we can all agree, disagree. At the end of the day, I know every single council member loves the town of Grange, and they want to see the town of Grange grow. They want what's best for the town. We may have different opinions on what will be the best course of action, but I know that they're looking out for the best interest of every citizen in this town. So I just wanted to commend them for their hard work, their dedication to the city of LaGrange. And I want to thank you guys once again for trusting me, electing me as your town councilman. And I hope and pray that you all have a great Veterans Day weekend. Thank a veteran, put some on the grill, enjoy your family. Have a good evening.